All right, so I'm gonna get started now. Um, Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Baum. I am your course instructor for this CAD and 3D printing course. We will be, doing Fusion 360, all that fun stuff. A little bit about me. I'm a junior in mechanical engineering. I've been CADing for around 6 years now. I really love, the CAD process and 3D printing. It's a big hobby of mine, and I'm really excited to teach all of you. A little fun fact about me is I'm a barista, but I don't drink coffee. So yeah, cool stuff. Here are some of my CAD projects over the years. I've done a couple of fun things. I like robotics, so I did that in high school. So yeah, that's a couple of the things I made. And hopefully you can do it too, with maybe a little bit more time than 5 weeks. We also have a wonderful TA in this course. His name is Aaron. He's a good friend of mine. He is running late because his class gets out at 5:45. But he's been CADing for about 3 years now. He also loves 3D printing and he likes tea. But yeah, so saw that a bunch of you have already downloaded Fusion, which is great. If you haven't already, you can go into the course Discord, and I have the installers already all ready to go for you because getting the installers is sometimes difficult. So I believe if you go under resources, yeah, the resources tab, there's a downloader for Fusion with Mac or Windows, depending on what computer you're running. So just download that. I'm running a Windows machine, so I'm going to download it. It might warn you about viruses, but I promise it's not a virus. I'm not going to blow up all your computers, I promise. So yeah, you just click it, it'll open a thing, and it'll start downloading. Are you raising your hand? Yeah, what's up? Yes, I'll get to that. So basically, you can start this installer, and it'll kind of run in the background because it takes some time. But I'll get to the account creation right now. Yeah, so we're doing Fusion 360 for the next 5 weeks. We like it because we can get it for free because we're students. It's pretty intuitive and user-friendly, especially for beginners. And it's cloud-based, so you can kind of like share documents and stuff like that if you ever work with more people. Also, I know like the Bechtel Center here at Purdue and other places use Fusion, so it's kind of nice to standardize the CAD systems. Makes like sending parts or like CAM later. I mean, we're not going to learn that in this class, but it's like programming the machines for manufacturing. All of that can be done on Fusion, which is great, and it's nice that it's all on one platform. But yeah, so now we're going to account creation. So if you go back into the resources tab, there's a link above the installers. So, oh yeah, this is our TA. Yeah, he came from class. We'll be back. But yeah, so you just click on this link. It'll take you to this Autodesk website where you will enter your information. Again, please use your Purdue email because it basically just tells Autodesk that you're a student. And then, yeah, you can get Fusion and it's less headache. Almost always there's going to be someone, and it's not always their fault. Something just like happens and Fusion gets mad at them. So if that happens to you, don't worry. It's not your fault. But yeah, just enter your information, all that fun stuff. For me, I already have an account, so I'm going to sign in. Yeah, it's thinking. Okay. But yeah, once you make your account, it should take you to a website, something like this. But the important thing is that you have the Autodesk account, and then when Fusion finishes installing, then you can sign in. So yeah, it's at like 16%. Is anyone having problems up to this point? Well, if you have problems, feel free to raise your hand. Me or Aaron can help you out. Um, yeah. Um, but yeah, while we wait for Fusion to install, I'm just gonna tell you a little bit more about like this course. So this is a course in collaboration with Purdue Milestones. I'm from ASME, so it's a club here at Purdue, and many of you have signed up through the club, but some of you have also signed up through Milestones. We collaborate with them every year to run this class. We teach it, and at the end of this course, you get a certificate through Milestones and through Purdue. So it's a really cool official thing to have on your resume or your LinkedIn profile, or if you want to hang it up on your wall for whatever reason, you can do that too. But yeah, the process for getting that certificate sometimes takes a while. So if you pass the class, which I hope you do, it might take a while for you to receive it. So don't freak out. It just like takes a long time. But yeah, Milestones has a bunch of other courses, not including this course. They do a bunch of skill-based stuff, which can supplement your coursework. And yeah, they do a lot of cool stuff. We like working with them. And yeah, we hope you like it. Yeah, we did this. Oh wait, wrong way. So yeah, some goals for this course. We just want you to understand like the importance of CAD in our society and like how it works. And we want to give you those tools necessary to create things with your mind. You know, I mean, it's really cool like imagining something and then putting it into the computer, and then you're like, wow, I can make this, and you know, you can make stuff. It's awesome. So yeah, we're going to teach you how to CAD. We're going to teach you how to render your models. And then in the end, we're going to teach you how to 3D print them. So you'll have something to show for this once you're finished. So again, me and Aaron are from ASME. And you know, it's a club at Purdue, the American Society of Mechanical Engineers. And we are here to prepare our members for success in the industry. We want to, you know, help you with internships and all that fun stuff. So if you are interested in that, feel free to join. We have a lot of things. There's a lot of things that our club offers with various design teams. Not all of them are on here. I first started in small projects, which is basically like you get one semester to make something and around some rules. So when I did it, we made battle bots, which was really fun. But this semester we're making drones. So if you're interested in that, that's something for you. Again, we have a bunch of other offerings. I don't know as much about them because I didn't participate in it, but they're doing a lot of cool stuff constantly. Here's some of our other design teams. We even have a Grand Prix team if you're interested in racing. It's also pretty cool. And we also have a new robotics, our new robotics team that we're starting up. It's not on this slide, but yeah. We also offer professional development stuff. So, you know, we can help you polish up your resume, all that fun stuff. And I think there's a QR code. Yeah. So if you're interested, feel free to scan the QR code and join our Slack. You'll have a bunch of opportunities to do different things, a lot of cool stuff. Those are a bunch of our partners and connections if you're not part of it already. But yeah. Moving on to a little bit more about the course. This will be a 5-week course, so there will be 5 lectures and 5 modules, you know, starting today and then going all the way to October 3rd. We're going to meet every Tuesday from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And yeah, so the 5 modules, you know, today we're going to do intro, like a quick introduction and, you know, teach you the basic skills. And then we'll ramp up from there doing intermediate and more creative stuff with like rendering and 3D printing. and all that fun stuff. So yeah. So there are 5 modules. I'm actually working on the 4th module right now. We're adding it. It's going to be pretty cool. Um, but yeah, there's 5 modules. This just kind of gives you an idea of what we're going to be doing in this course. Oh shoot, I should change that to Tuesday. Sorry. But yeah, you need a 70% or higher to pass this course. I honestly don't think that is too bad. So most of you, or all of you, definitely have the ability to pass this course, and I really hope that you do so. This course, most people get the stuff done either like within the lecture period or like maybe 1 or 2 hours outside of class a week. So yeah, this class isn't super heavy. Don't worry, I'm not gonna like destroy you. I know you have other classes. I'm a student too, so yeah, I'm not gonna make it too hard. Um, yeah. Yeah, so your final project is to like render a model that you made yourself with no instructions. It'll be pretty cool. It must contain 3 design features. I might change that. But yeah, it's really cool. You'll be able to make your own stuff by the end of it. So yeah, here are some examples of some of our favorite final projects from past sessions. You see a cool R2D2 or the arc reactor. Lots of cool stuff. Again, this course I would say it's very much like you get whatever you put in. So if you want to do minimal effort and like barely pass the class, you can do that. But a lot of people find a lot of enjoyment in going all out and making crazy stuff, and I really like to see that. But again, it's totally up to you. If you want to do crazy stuff, that is awesome. And if you want to do like just enough to pass, that's totally cool too. But yeah, we're gonna hop into the first module. Um, so yeah, what is CAD? We're all here for a reason. Basically, CAD is the use of computer graphics, like computer processing power, to design stuff digitally. You can make individual components or a bunch of them and like put them together virtually before you make it in real life, which is awesome. So the history, this is like kind of boring stuff, but it was invented in like 1959, so it's been around for a long time. A bunch of companies have different CAD systems, and it kind of evolved into what we have today. So, there's a bunch of applications for CAD. You use it or everything you have has probably been CADed at some point. So all your computers, cars, tables, literally everything probably had a CAD model before it was like produced and put on the shelf at Walmart or whatever. So it starts from like 2D sketches and then they turn into 3D objects. And then, it's very powerful, especially with the modern computer. You can do a lot of stuff like FEA, which is another class that Milestone offers. And then you can also prepare it for manufacturing, like using CAM. But we won't get into that in this course. But yeah, there's a bunch of different CAD softwares out there. There's a bunch of companies like Autodesk makes a bunch of software. Gestalt System makes like CATIA or SolidWorks. And then there's other companies like Onshape or Tinkercad and stuff. But we're doing Fusion 360 because it's free and it's pretty intuitive. Yeah, this is our first assignment. Has everyone like gone through the Fusion download stuff? Is anyone having like account problems? Okay, well we can hang out for a little bit, I guess. Um, so basically wait, let me see. Oh, mine's not even done yet. Okay, so basically when it finishes installing, it will usually ask you to sign in. So then you'll use the login info that you just made, and then it'll ask you to, I think, create like a workspace. And then you can just kind of make a random one and name it whatever you want, preferably like school appropriate. But it's basically like naming your Google Drive. Um, so yeah, when this finishes, then we can run through that. But yeah. I don't think I did that. I don't think we need to add that. I can check. But I don't remember adding that when I made my Fusion account. As long as you use your Purdue email, you should be good. Um, is anyone having problems with their accounts? Oh, really? Okay, yeah. If that like goes away, then that's great. If it doesn't, then you might have to contact AutoCAD. Um, oh, it's not. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, you can make it. Go jinx it. I'm like, I kind of want something catastrophic to happen because I think that'd be kind of interesting. But I'm happy that nothing bad has happened so far. Okay, my computer's slow today. Is there anyone lost? Oh, okay. Oh, yes, thank you. What? It's anonymous. Oh, yeah, if you want to, you can also change your name in the Discord so you are. But if you don't want to, it's fine. Oh, the homework says it. Does anyone have any like general questions about the class? Maybe for teaching? Yeah. It's the digital like stuff that you emphasis courses that are actually useful or is it just kind of something? I mean, I think it's useful. I mean, you can put it on your resume and it basically just like proves to other people that you know how to do something. Because like anyone could say like, oh, I know how to CAD, but then like the certificate is like proof through the school. Like it's not just through the club; it's through like Purdue as an institution. So it's like pretty official thing. If that makes sense. Yeah. Let's see. Mine finish. No. Yeah. Yeah. I guess some of your computers are faster than mine, but that's okay. Um, Go faster. Yay. Yeah, so if you haven't gotten this, you just sign in. It usually opens up, yeah. Um, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you just kind of click through it if you're already signed in. It shouldn't be too bad. It'll think for a bit. Yes, so for those of you who are making new accounts, it'll ask you to create a team and you can kind of name it whatever you want because it's just going to be like your personal folder with all your stuff on it. So yeah, I named it something random. I forget what I named it, but yeah, I mean, preferably school appropriate, but it's not, I'm not your mom, so you can do whatever. Um, okay, is everyone at this point yet, or are there still like installers running and stuff? Dude, this is amazing. Holy cow. Okay, cool. Oh, also, this is for you. Um, Yay, my computer's mad at me. Okay, so now that you all have Fusion, which is amazing, I'm so happy right now. We're going to be doing our first assignment. So in this class, I'm going to be running through most of the assignments that you have for this class, and then you're going to have like one assignment that I don't teach you, but it's going to be like using all the stuff that you learned that day. So your first assignment is to create these cool building blocks, and I'm just going to do it right here in front of you. So you can basically copy me, and then you're golden. And if not, or if I go too fast, then you can watch the recordings later. Um, but yeah, so basically, this is Fusion 360. This is the environment that you're going to be working with for the next 5 weeks and hopefully longer. Up here is, I believe, the taskbar. Yeah, so up here is the taskbar. It has a bunch of buttons, a bunch of cool tools. We won't use all of them in this course, but I'm going to be showing you like the basics and the most important ones. Over here, as well is your data panel. So if you click on it, it'll open this side thing. And this is like your Google Drive or your File Explorer for Fusion 360, right? So this is all cloud-based. It'll save in the cloud. So if you download Fusion on another computer, you'll have all your data, which is awesome. So yeah, over here you can see I have a couple projects. You see this is like my project folder from the summer. But yeah, so I suggest you make a new project folder just to house all your assignments for this class. So I'm just going to make one by clicking that. I'm going to call it CAD Training Fall 2023. So yeah, it'll make you a folder. You can enter it. And we will make our first part. Is anyone like confused with this at all? Anyone having trouble? Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. it's just more of a visualization thing. But I think like giving a couple days, like you might like go through and actually approve you, and then like the trial thing goes away. If it doesn't, you can like contact them and say like, hey, I'm a student, I'm gonna start the trial or something. And they should get back to you. Or you can ask me, I can try to help you. Yeah, don't worry if you can't make a folder. That's not that big of a deal. But yeah, so yeah, so I'm gonna close the data panel for now just to give you a better view. We can't make a team, so we can't. Okay, interesting. Yeah, this is like the stuff. It happens to like at least one person. Yeah, okay. So if you haven't started already, we're going to be making, I'm just going to start with the cube. But yeah, this is your workspace. To navigate it, you can start by using the view cube, which is up here in the top right. So if you like left click it and like drag it around, it'll like rotate your whole view and stuff. But there's also shortcuts. So if you want to zoom, you can just like scroll in and out. Or if you want to pan, you can middle click. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah. So to zoom in and out, you can just like use your scroll wheel on your mouse if you have it. If you don't have a mouse, I do recommend you get one because it makes CADing a lot easier. You can CAD with a trackpad. Me and Aaron do it a lot, but it can get annoying. So I recommend a mouse. Yeah, so if you want to pan left and right, you hold the middle click button on your mouse, and then it'll allow you to go side to side or like up and down. And then to orbit, which is my favorite, you hold the shift and middle click, and then it'll spin it around like this. And it'll be easier to visualize when we have a part, but that's your basic navigation. For me, I like change the mouse controls, but I can go into that later. But yeah, basically, whenever you want to CAD something, most of the time you're going to be starting out with a 2D drawing and then making that into something 3D. So that 2D drawing is called a sketch. So the sketch tool is one of the most important things, and it's one of the biggest things that you'll be using on Fusion. So up here, to create a new sketch, you just hover in the top left in this little plus sign over here. And then the cool thing about Fusion is that if you hover long enough, it'll tell you like what that tool is and what it does. So that's why we teach this to beginners, because that can be like a little extra step if you weren't quite sure what that button does. But yeah, so you're gonna click Create Sketch, and then these orange planes will pop up. So a sketch will be 2D. So you're working in a 3D space. So you have to tell it what plane you want to start from. So you can just pick a random one. I'm gonna pick this one, which is the XZ plane, I think. Oh wait, no, the YZ plane. But yeah, so you see when you click on like the orange plane, it like moves you so you're right on top of it. So it'll just making your sketch look nice. Yeah, is anyone having problems with that? Okay, cool. So when you enter a sketch, you can see your toolbar on the top changed a little bit, right? So, you know, there's more buttons, they're all different shapes. We'll go into some of them later. But now it'll allow you to create 2D drawings, right? So you see over here, I can make a line if I want to, or I can make a circle, rectangles, and then there's a bunch of other things, right? But to start, I'm going to be making a cube or a square because we want to make a cube. So I'm going to start with the 2-point rectangle. Just going to click it, and you always, a good rule of thumb is always to start on the origin, right? So when you're making these parts and you don't like secure it anywhere, the part will just like kind of float in midair, and it's really hard to define where it is in space. So I like making my first sketch or like whatever line or circle or rectangle I'm making, I like to start from the origin, right? So the origin is right here, this little circle. And if you click on the origin and you drag it out, you can see I'm making a nice rectangle right here, right? So I just click that, and now I have a rectangle. Awesome. And then you see on here, there's 2 black lines and 2 blue lines. So the black lines basically show you that, tell you that they're constrained in some way. So you can't, these blue lines can kind of move anywhere, right? But these black lines are constrained on like this green line right here and this red line there. And a good practice is to make all your lines fully constrained. So all your lines should be black. Blue lines are generally not preferred when you want to CAD things because it means that they can move and it's not really precise. So to set these and constrain them, I'm going to dimension them. So over here, there's the sketch dimension tool. And basically it'll allow you to set lengths for different things. So I'm going to click that tool, I'm going to click the line, and then this will pop up, right? So it'll give me the option to set it to whatever length I like. I'm just going to say like 10 millimeters, right? And then I can do it for this one as well. So I'm going to set this to 10, and now I have a nice square. Just so you know, for this class, like I'm not going to be measuring all the things you make except for like one assignment. So you can use whatever units or like measurements that you want as long as you're achieving like what we're looking for in this class. So like if you want a CAD in miles, that's like fine if you want to. I don't know why you would want to, but you can. But yeah. If you ever want to change your units, you can go under document settings, and then I believe you like double click this or you right click it. Yeah. And then you can change it. I like to use millimeters, but you can use inches. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Is anyone stuck up to this point? Okay, cool. So when you finish your sketch, you see all these lines are black. It's all fully constrained. We like that. I feel like it's done, so I'm going to press Finish Sketch, right? Now you exit the sketch, and if you want to orbit, you can see that it's just kind of like a 2D square, right? But to make it a cube, we have to, you know, give it volume, right? So to do that, you're going to click the Extrude button over here, and that will basically take the sketch that you made, and then it'll just stretch it out into a 3D object, right? So here, it automatically selected the plane for me, or the sketch for me, and then you can specify the distance over here. So over here, let's say I want it to be 10 millimeters, because everything else was 10, and now it'll give me a preview of a cube. So that's good. So I like what I see, and then I'm just going to press OK, and now we have a sweet little cube as our first part, or our first body. Is everyone up to date? Cool. So Fusion will create bodies whenever you make a part like this. So you can like show and hide bodies if you ever need to like see through something. you can like go over here under bodies on the left, and then use the little eyeball thing, and then it can like disappear and stuff. It's cool. Yeah. All right. So I'm guessing everyone did pretty well with that. So I'm got it. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna move on to the next part. So again, oh, like that. It's like it's one whole body, so it's like a solid piece, so you can't like hide one surface. Yeah. Um, so yeah, to make the next part, so over here we're gonna be making this cylinder over here. So to do that, again, we want to create a sketch. Choose a plane. I'm gonna hide this so I can select this plane, and then I'm gonna show it again. You can, yeah, you can, yeah. So I'm not, because I just like don't want the part to be like phasing through it, but you totally can. Um, so here, yeah, yeah. So the way I do it is I make those parts independently. So every time you like make something, I like to make it like one part at a time, and then like I save it, and then I just open a new one. So then it just gives you like a new origin and a new thing to build off of. And I'll teach you later, but then you can make an assembly which allows you to like put all the individual parts together, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I usually CAD one part at a time, but just for this demonstration, we're going to be doing 3 parts, just to show you all the different basic tools. Yeah, so we made the cube. Now I want to make a cylinder. So I'm going to start with the circle. So the circle tool, I'm already in a sketch, and then I'm just going to click over here, and it'll be like a circle in a random spot, right? So again, it's blue. I want to dimension it, make sure it's nice and constrained. So let's say I'm going to set the diameter of the circle to maybe like 30 millimeters. But you see, I didn't start from the origin here, right? So everything is still blue, right? I can still move the circle around in space. And generally, if you're making parts, you don't want to do that. So what I can do is I can dimension it to the origin like this. So I'm going to say maybe 40 for whatever reason. And then over here, I'm going to do like 10, right? And then now you see the circle is black. It's fully constrained. We like that. So yeah, I like that. I'm going to press finish sketch. And again, we're going to use the extrude tool. And then it will make a cylinder. Specify the distance. I'm going to say like 40. And there you go. Now we have a cylinder. Does that make sense to everyone? Nice. Okay, cool. So the last part in this assignment is to make the little bridge looking piece, the little yellow block over there. So again, we're going to create a sketch like we always do. I'm going to select this plane. And then, so what I like to do is I like to kind of make the basic shape of what I want to make, and then you can trim whatever you want off later. So I see this block as, it's a rectangle with like a half circle cut out, but I can just do like a rectangle. I can draw a rectangle and a circle, and then I can like cut away half of the circle later, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna just start with a rectangle. I'm gonna make it about that big. I'm gonna constrain it. So I say I want this to be 25 away. Make this 50, and let's say I want the height to be like 30, right? I'm going to move it that way. I'm going to make this like 10. So you see this rectangle is nice and constrained. We like that. And then now I'm going to make a circle. So I'm going to put a circle at like the center of this line right here. And then I'm going to make that, dimension it. So let's say like 40. And now you can kind of see like the little archway that we have or that we were looking for on the block, right? But you also see that there's a couple extra lines and we don't want that. So to get rid of them, we're going to use the trim tool. So these scissors up here, you can just click them and then you can either click on the line or you can hold down and just kind of like drag your mouse through the line that you want to cut away. So you can, I'm holding down the left click button and then as I touch this line, it disappears, right? And then it cuts it at the nearest place where like two lines meet, if that makes sense. So here you see this bottom part right here is also something we don't really want. So I'm going to cut it away like that. And now you see it's a nice arch. You'll also notice that the circle turned blue. So a lot of the times if you cut something with the trim tool, you might lose something. And to fix that, you can add another dimension to fully constrain it again. So in this case, I needed to add that dimension right there. But then again, everything's fully constrained. I like that. I'm happy. I'm going to press Finish Sketch. And then I'm going to extrude it. Say 30. And now I have this nice arch right here. Does that make sense for everyone? It's okay if it doesn't. Like, that's what we're here for. This is a class. So if you click on the scissors, you can kind of like, you can either click on the line that you want to trim, or you can like hold down the left click and just like run your mouse through it. Can you show me how to do it? Yeah. Sorry. Okay, so the last thing for this assignment is to add colors to all your blocks. So to do that, you can see over here on the bodies, the ones that you can like use the eyeball tool to show and hide. You can right click it and then you can select appearance over here, this little rainbow, little like color palette. And if you click it, it should open up some like options. And like Fusion has a bunch of different like appearance options, so you can color it whatever you like. I'm just gonna choose like a glossy paint, and you see there's like a bunch of options. So what you can do, like, I don't know, I want the cylinder to be blue, so I'm just gonna drag this onto the cylinder, and then it makes it blue, right? And I can like drag colors onto a bunch of parts, and then yeah, that's how you like color stuff. So yeah, this is assignment 1. If you were following along closely, you can basically just take a screenshot and then submit this to me. I haven't made the submission form yet, but yeah, take screenshots of your work and then you can send it to me. An important thing to note about like your screenshots, make sure you have the timeline on your screenshot. So in the bottom over here, you can see like all these little like blocks and stuff. That basically shows me like your process and like the operations that you use to get to the part, right? So each little like gray square is a sketch. So it's like, oh, you made a sketch, and then the little blue thing is like, oh, an extrusion. So that helps me know that like what you're doing. And for some of the assignments, that's important. So if you don't give me the timeline this week, that's like fine. But next week and beyond, I'm gonna start docking points because sometimes I won't know what you're doing. And it's kind of hard to tell and it makes grading hard. So please take photos when you do your screenshots. Keep your timelines, please. But yeah, that is this assignment. I'm gonna move on because we only have about 45 minutes left in this class. So I'm just gonna save this. So I'm gonna do Control S or Command S, and then I'm gonna do assignment 1. So yeah, it's Command S or Control S depending on what you're using. But yeah, so this is your first assignment. To make a new part, you can click this plus sign in the top right, or you can press like Control or Command N. So over here, you see I start with a fresh workspace, and now I can create the next part. So for here, we're going to be making this hammer. You can call it Purdue's hammer or Thor's hammer, whatever you like. But yeah, we first want to start with a sketch. I'm going to choose this plane, and then I'm going to make a circle and then a cylinder, right? So circle, dimension. Again, I started at the origin. I'm going to dimension it, let's say like 20, right? Finish sketch. I'm going to extrude it. Let's call it like 100. Maybe like 150, right? So now we have like this whole long like little handle for our hammer. And then now we actually want to make like the hammer itself, right? So I'm going to make another sketch, but instead of selecting one of the planes from the origin, I'm going to select this top face on the cylinder. So if you ever want to make a feature on top of another feature, you can make a sketch on a different plane, right? Or on the plane that you're working from, right? So I made this plane by extruding it. There's a nice flat surface, and I can sketch from it, right? So I'm going to click on it, and I want to make a rectangle, right? But I want this rectangle to be centered on this circle right here, right? So under the create, it'll give you more options. So under rectangle, you see there's a couple options. We've been using the 2-point rectangle, but in this case, I want to use the center rectangle, right? And this will allow me to create a rectangle based on the center point that I select, right? So I'm going to click on center rectangle. I'm going to click on the center of this circle, and then you see now it like drags out a rectangle from that point. So again, I'm going to dimension it. Let's say like 100. And let's say the width is like 50. And you know, I have like a nice profile for a hammer, right? I'm happy with that. So I'm going to finish it. And no, they don't. So you can CAD in miles. I don't really care. So yeah. So again, I want to extrude it, right, to make this hammer body. So yeah, I select the hammer. When you get into more complex sketches, sometimes it'll ask you to specify which things you want to extrude or revolve, right? So In this case, I want to extrude the outside, but I also want to extrude the inside. So I have to select the inside. Now the whole rectangle is highlighted, right? So I can specify the distance, let's say like 30. That seems like, maybe 40, right? That seems appropriate for a hammer. But if you look at this, right, there's a little thing poking out, right? And the beauty of CAD is that there's no like right answer to how you model things. It's all like dependent on what you want to do. And there are certain things that, or certain practices that you can use to maybe like CAD like more efficiently, right? And like I like to kind of limit the number of operations if necessary. So in this case, what I can do is instead of starting, like the sketches have automatically been starting, or the extrusions, sorry, have been starting automatically where you made the sketch, right? But in this case, I want to offset that. So I can click the profile or the start on the right side, and I can click offset, and I can set this offset, right? So let's say I want it to be like 5 millimeters, and if you see, it's starting the extrusion, and now there's like a gap in between, right? So I don't want that. So I'm gonna make the offset negative, right? So negative offset will mean that it's starting below the sketch plane. And then the distance, I want it to go the other way. So I'm gonna set the distance to negative 40. And now you see it's gonna be like this. But Fusion tries to be smart, and sometimes it doesn't do what you want it to do. So right now it's assuming that I want to cut away the rectangle on the cylinder, and it would just leave me, if I just pressed OK, it would just leave me with like a floating thing. But I don't want that, so I'm going to go back. If you go under the features on the bottom, the timeline, you can edit it, right? So I'm going to right click, I'm going to press edit feature, and then you see under operation it says cut, right? And Fusion will try to like assume, but it's not always right. In this case it's not. So I'm going to call it join, right? So that means it'll combine this like rectangular prism with the cylinder, right? If I press OK, now I have a nice hammer. It's not like floating and all that fun stuff. So, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to edit the feature, and you see the start. So over here it says start, and then usually it's set to like profile plane, but I set it to offset instead, and then it'll give you a new option to offset it by. So I offset it by like minus 5 millimeters, but it'll be different. What? So it starts your extrusion or your feature, like in this case, 5 millimeters away from where I sketched it, right? So I made the sketch on top of the cylinder, but I want the extrusion to start 5 millimeters below it, right? So that's what the offset is for. Yeah. So then I set that to negative 40, and then I make sure to set the operation to join, so it doesn't accidentally like cut into it. Yeah. The extrusion. It's set the extrusion. Which one? Oh, it's on the bottom. It's right. Yeah. So like, Yeah. Okay, so the last thing to do with this one is you want to add the fillets. Some people call it fillets, but it's fillet, I'm pretty sure. It's not a fish. Um, so this little round thing underneath like the thing that says plastic is the fillet tool, right? And that will round the corners because that's a really sharp edge. And in a lot of cases, you want it to look nice and like not cut someone. So you can add fillets. In this case, you can start selecting all of the little edges here. So I'm just going to select the edges of the hammer. And again, you can use like all the controls that I taught you earlier to like spin the part around to make selecting lines easier. And then you can specify the radius of the fillet, right? So the bigger the number, the bigger the fillet will be. So if I make it like 7, it's like nice and super round. But if I want it to be not as round on the corners, I can do like 2, and I just smaller radius. And then yeah, now you have a little hammer, and I'm pretty sure that's the completed assignment. Yeah. So again, this assignment is done. You can take a screenshot. I haven't made the submission form yet, so I'll send that out like tonight or sometime later this week. But yeah, save your screenshots, make sure the timeline is in there, and then you'll be golden. Does that make sense for everyone? So the cool thing about CAD is you can so yeah, we have about half an hour left. So I'm just gonna go over the last assignment, and then the rest of the time will be here to answer any of your questions. Yeah, if you're caught up to this point, you should have a hammer. If not, I'll help you later. You can save it. And now, you have the hammer. I'm gonna make a new part again, nice blank canvas. And then now we're gonna be making a game piece, and this involves a new tool. So again, I'm gonna make a sketch. I'm gonna choose a plane. In this case, I'm gonna choose the front plane. It'll tell you up here. Okay. So yeah, I'm on the front plane right now, and now I'm gonna kind of draw my chess piece, right? So how we're gonna do it is we're gonna like draw the profile of like the center of the chess piece, if that makes sense, and then we're gonna spin it around. So it's called a revolve. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can like, this is how you make circles in CAD also. It's kind of fun. Anyways, I'm gonna make a line. I'm just gonna make a vertical one, and then I'm gonna make a horizontal one and like another vertical one. gonna do some constraining. So let's say 30, I don't know, 15 looks fine. And then like 60 something, yeah. So then over here, you see there's like a little round right here. You could make a circle, but I'm going to show you another tool, the arc tool. So you can do like a center point arc, I think. And oh no, wrong one, sorry. And I'm going the wrong way. Okay, let's try that again, shall we? I'm using the 3-point arc. So I select like the beginning and end point of the arc, and then now I can like choose the radius, right? I can make it like super weird and stuff. But I think this is about nice. And then again, I can dimension it. So, let's say the radius is like 13 or something. That looks fine. I can fully constrain it later. I'm going to add a nice line over here. I'm going to make sure it's tangent. I'll be teaching you geometric constraints later. But if you angle it right, the Fusion can kind of like automatically assume, and then it like gives you this little thing, and that's showing you it's geometrically constrained. But that's a little bit for later. And then the top part is like a circle, right? So I'm going to make a circle up here, and I'm going to stretch it to the end of the line, and now I have like the top. That's a very large top. I'm going to make it smaller. And then I'm just going to add another line up here, dimensioning the circle. It's like 25 is fine. Say like, yeah, that's fine. It's not fully constrained. The base is kind of fat. It's fine though. I'm just gonna leave this like not constrained for now, but we can fix that later. Again, I'm gonna use the trim tool. I'm gonna trim this side of the circle, right? So now it's more like half the game piece. And then you see there's also this part right here, right? So I want to trim this, and then now you have like a complete like profile for your revolve, right? So what we've been doing is we've been extruding, so it just kind of pulls it out in like one direction, right? But what the revolve does is it basically takes this sketch and it like copies it infinite times in a circle. So I don't know, you've probably done like calc and stuff, but this is basically like those like, yeah, exactly. So you're doing this, but you don't have to do the math, and that's what makes it fun. So I like this profile. I'm gonna finish the sketch, right? And it's not fully constrained. I don't really like that, but you can fully constrain yours. But instead of the extrude button, there's the revolve tool right next to it. So I'm gonna click on that. It automatically selects the profile because we only have one sketch, but then it says axis right there. So you need to specify like the axis of rotation. So in this case, I want it to rotate along this vertical axis, right? So if I click that, it copies it, and now we have like a pawn looking chess piece, right? But also like if you didn't choose like the right profile, right? Let's say I chose this one, it'll like revolve it that way. And now it like looks not like a chess piece. So yeah, the axis of revolution is important. Make sure you click the right one. This one? Yeah. It gets mad. Probably because like this is like here. Okay. But you can't. It's also the left and unconstrained. That could be it. No, because like if I revolved it, like part of the revolve would revolve into itself. Like, oh, and it doesn't let you do that. this revolve right would like cut into itself, and then that makes the program add. I think maybe if I changed it to 180, it might work. No, yeah, it doesn't like that. But revolves do work on like non-vertical axes. It's just like in this case it doesn't. Yeah. Yeah. See, I make the new chess piece. I press OK. I have a nice, cool looking chess piece. And then I think, yeah. So let's name our chess piece, right? So I'm gonna go to the bottom. I'm gonna rotate to the bottom. I'm gonna make a new sketch. I'm gonna choose the bottom face of the chess piece, and then I believe, no, not there. Yeah. So if you go under Create, you click the text tool. It'll allow you to like add text into your design. So if you like made something and you want to like write what it is on the part, or you want to like write your name, this is something that you can use. So I'm just gonna click text, do that, and I'm gonna say like, this is Bob, right? This chess piece is Bob. Okay. If you go under Create, there's like a little text thing, but you have to make a sketch first. Yeah, I'm putting it on the bottom. So this is Bob the chess piece. I think that's fine. You can name it whatever you want, preferably school appropriate. Yeah, I'm gonna finish the sketch and then I'm gonna do an extrude. Oh shit. There. Okay. So you see, the bob is like going out the wrong way, right? So I want it to go into the part. So I'm gonna do like -2, and now it's cutting into the chess piece. And now we have Bob the chess piece. Yay. And then I think for this assignment, yeah, you need to color it. So add an appearance. Hello. Okay, there it is. And I'll make this red. But yeah, I know that went fast. So now I'm just gonna go around to see if anyone has questions, because we have about 20 minutes. So don't feel like you're in a rush. Which one gets the verbiage back? Like this that's it. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, I realized I didn't tell everyone about the homework, so I hope they do the homework. This is your homework, so make sure to do it.